Jinwoo survived becoming a ruler's emissary. But surviving wasn't enough. As the world stabilized around him, humanity began depending on him. And the monarchs began hunting him. This is the part of the story where balance demands sacrifice. Welcome back to Anime What If Saga. This is part 2, the ruler who walked among humans. The world did not celebrate Sung Jinwoo. It stabilized around him. That difference mattered. Cities repaired themselves faster than expected. Gates behaved more predictably. Mana fluctuations dropped worldwide. It was as if reality itself had tightened its grip. No one could explain why. Only Jinwoo knew. He stood on a quiet street at dawn, watching people go about their lives. Commuters hurried past him. Children laughed. Vendors opened shops. No one bowed. No one prayed. No one screamed. They didn't see a god. They saw a man standing too still. Jinwoo blinked slowly. He could hear everything. Not sound. Causality. A car braking too late 3 streets away. A child about to trip on uneven pavement. A hunter misjudging a mana surge deep underground. All of it tugged at him. Demanded evaluation. Judgment. He turned away. If he answered every call, he would never move again. The association tried to speak to him. Once. Then never again. The moment Jinwoo entered the building, every artifact malfunctioned. Mana detectors went silent. Barriers deactivated. Even rank assessment crystals cracked without being touched. No hostility. Just incompatibility. The chairman cleared his throat nervously. Mr. Sung, are you still a hunter? Jinwoo considered the question carefully. I don't think so, he said honestly. No one argued. That night, Jinwoo returned home. His mother greeted him with a smile. You look tired, she said, touching his cheek. Jinwoo froze. He didn't feel the warmth of her hand. Not because it wasn't there, but because his perception had shifted. He knew her temperature, her pulse, her lifespan curve. Too much information. He gently stepped back. I'm okay, he said quickly. But she noticed. Mothers always do. When he slept, he dreamed of scales again. But now they no longer moved. Perfect balance. Frozen. He stood at the center. Not weighing outcomes. Locking them in place. He woke with a sharp intake of breath. For the first time since part 1 ended. He felt fear. The rulers arrived at sunrise. This time, they did not hover. They stood on the ground. Level with him. That alone spoke volumes. You are drifting, one said. Jinwoo folded his arms. From what? From yourself. He didn't deny it. You have crossed a threshold we hoped you would resist, another ruler said. You are no longer merely enforcing authority. What am I doing then? Becoming a fixed point. The words chilled him. A universe cannot tolerate too many fixed points, the ruler continued. They halt change. Jinwoo clenched his jaw. So what? You want me weaker? No, the ruler replied carefully. We want you anchored. They showed him something. A vision of possible futures. In one, Jinwoo continued as he was. Intervening constantly, denying threats preemptively. Humanity survived, but stagnated. Innovation slowed. Free will dulled. Fear disappeared, and so did growth. In another future, Jinwoo withdrew completely. Monarchs adapted. War returned. Billions died. Jinwoo looked away. There's no future where I win, he said quietly. The ruler answered. There is one where you remain human enough to choose. The monarchs did not attack. They watched. They learned. They changed tactics. No more brute force. No more direct incursions. Instead, corruption. The first sign appeared as a cult. A small group at first. They claimed to worship the one who stabilized the world. They spread peacefully. Too peacefully. No violence. No disruption. Just reverence. Jinwoo felt them like a splinter in his mind. Not dangerous, but wrong. Belief bending toward dependency. He found the gathering one evening. Dozens knelt. Candles burned. Symbols vaguely resembling his sigils were carved into wood. When they saw him, they cried. They bowed. They reached for him. Please, one whispered. Stay. Guide us. Jinwoo stepped back sharply. No. The word carried weight. Too much. The candles extinguished instantly. The symbols cracked. People screamed, not in pain. In confusion, faith severed violently. Jinwoo staggered. His hands shook. I didn't mean to. The rulers appeared immediately. This is what we feared, one said. You cannot deny belief gently anymore. Jinwoo stared at the shattered symbols. I didn't ask for worship. Monarchs thrive on it, the ruler replied. They are testing whether you will too. Elsewhere, far beyond Earth. A monarch smiled. He is rejecting divinity. Good, another replied. That means he still hurts. Jinwoo began withdrawing. Not physically. Existentially. He suppressed his awareness. Limited his authority. Ignored minor instabilities. Each time he did, the world felt louder, messier, more human, and strangely relieving. But the cost came quickly. A mid-ranked gate collapsed unexpectedly. Hunters died. Jinwoo felt it the instant it happened. The imbalance screamed at him. He arrived too late. Bodies lay broken. Families cried. A child screamed his name. Accusatory. Why didn't you come? The words pierced deeper than any monarch strike. That night, Jinwoo stood alone on a rooftop, fists clenched. If I intervene, he whispered, I lose myself. If I don't, he looked down at the city. People die. The rulers did not comfort him. They couldn't. This was the burden of law. Another presence appeared that night. Not a monarch. Not a ruler. Something older. Subtler. It did not manifest. It observed. Jinwoo felt its gaze and turned toward the stars. So, he said quietly. You're watching now too. The presence did not answer. But it didn't leave. Far away, monarchs gathered again. The human is cracking, one said. But not breaking, another replied. The eldest leaned forward. Then we will not break him. A pause. We will force him to choose. Jinwoo sensed it. A new kind of convergence. Not centered on him. Centered on humanity. Multiple disasters brewing simultaneously. Not lethal individually. Catastrophic together. Engineered. A scenario no single denial could resolve. Jinwoo closed his eyes. This is your move, he murmured. The universe waited. And for the first time, Sung Jinwoo hesitated. The disasters did not arrive together. They arrived just far enough apart to be cruel. A dam failure in the west. A gate surge beneath a coastal city. A mana storm disrupting air traffic across 3 nations. A corrupted beast outbreak in a mountain region with no high-rank hunters nearby. None of them were world-ending. All of them were lethal. And Sung Jinwoo felt every single one. His senses stretched unwillingly. Causality screamed. Threads pulled at him from every direction, each demanding correction. He stood in the center of his apartment, hands trembling, breath shallow. Stop, he whispered to himself. But authority does not sleep. It evaluates. It demands response. The rulers appeared instantly. They're forcing dispersion, one said. They know you cannot deny all outcomes simultaneously without crossing another threshold. Jinwoo's jaw tightened. So they want me to choose who lives. Yes. The word landed like a verdict. He acted. Not fully. Not decisively. He intervened selectively. He stabilized the dam first. Preventing a flood that would have killed thousands. He delayed the mana storm. Enough to ground flights safely. But the coastal gate surged. Hunters were overwhelmed. Creatures spilled into the streets. By the time Jinwoo arrived, buildings burned. Bodies lay still. Screams echoed through smoke. A woman grabbed his sleeve, eyes red. Where were you? She cried. You saved them, why not us? Jinwoo could not answer. There was no correct response. Only arithmetic. News spread fast. Not as praise. As division. He saved one city and abandoned another. He decides who matters. He's playing God. The words stung, not because they were cruel. But because they were accurate. The cult returned. Bigger. Organized. They didn't kneel this time. They waited. Their leader spoke calmly. We understand now, he said. You cannot save everyone. Jinwoo stared at him. So let us help you choose. Illustrations were displayed. Maps marked. Predictions drawn. They wanted efficiency. Optimization. Sacrifice by design. Jinwoo felt something cold coil in his chest. You're asking me to approve deaths, he said quietly. The man smiled gently. We're asking you to accept reality. Jinwoo raised his hand. No. Authority surged. The cult's plans disintegrated. Not burned, not torn. Invalidated. But the people did not vanish. They stared at him, terrified and awed. Jinwoo stepped back. He hadn't solved anything. That night, Jinwoo did something unthinkable. He left Earth. Not physically. Conceptually. With the ruler's help, he stepped into a higher plane. A neutral layer of reality where observation outweighed interaction. From there, he watched the planet spin. Beautiful. Fragile. Too loud. If I stay, he said, voice echoing softly. I become a choke point. The rulers did not deny it. You are becoming central, one admitted. That is dangerous. Jinwoo looked down at the world. Then decentralize me. Silence. Finally. There is a way. They showed him another possibility. Not a future. A structure. A distributed system. Fragments of authority embedded across the world. Limited. Localized. Human compatible. Not rulers. Not monarchs. Judges. Chosen humans empowered to stabilize small regions. Jinwoo's chest tightened. You want me to share this? You cannot carry it alone. But they'll change, he argued. They'll be tempted. Corrupted. Yes, the ruler said calmly. Some will fail. Jinwoo turned sharply. That's unacceptable. The ruler met his gaze. So is stagnation. Below them, the monarchs observed the hesitation. He's considering delegation, one said. Another chuckled. Then he's already losing. The eldest remained silent. Let him, it finally said. The more he spreads himself, the easier it will be to break the system. Jinwoo returned to Earth before dawn. He stood in a crowded hospital hallway. Wounded everywhere. Doctors overwhelmed. Hunters exhausted. No divine solutions. Only human effort. He watched a nurse collapse from fatigue. Another picked her up. No authority. No judgment. Just people. He made his decision. Not to the rulers. Not to the world. To himself. I won't become the answer to everything, he said quietly. The rulers listened. I'll become the one who teaches the world to survive without me. A long silence followed. Then, that choice, one ruler said, will make you vulnerable. Jinwoo nodded. I know. The first candidate was chosen reluctantly. A low-rank hunter who refused promotion. A healer who never left the field. A rescue specialist who prioritized civilians over kills. No ambition. No hunger. No glory. Jinwoo approached them one by one. He did not explain everything. He did not promise power. He offered burden. Some refused. He respected that. Others accepted with shaking hands. Authority flowed. Not overwhelming. Measured. Localized. Limited. The world did not shake. That was the point. Far above, monarchs watched with growing interest. He's fragmenting himself. Yes. Good. Jinwoo felt weaker immediately. Not drained. Distributed. Parts of his awareness dimmed. But something else returned. Silence. Relief. Human exhaustion. He slept. Deeply. For the first time in weeks. He dreamed of a scale again. This time, it moved. Not perfectly balanced. But alive. Imperfect. Human. When he woke, alarms blared across the globe. Not disasters. Disappearances. The new judges. Vanishing. One by one. No bodies. No residue. Just absence. Jinwoo's blood ran cold. The monarchs had adapted again. They're not attacking me, he whispered. The rulers appeared instantly. They're targeting your replacements. Jinwoo clenched his fists. So this is the choice. Protect himself. Or protect those who stepped forward in his place. He looked toward the horizon. Authority stirred. Fear followed. For the first time since awakening, Sung Jinwoo made a decision driven not by balance, but by anger. Anger was not supposed to exist where Sung Jinwoo stood. Judgment was meant to be calm. Authority was meant to be precise. Balance required detachment. And yet, anger surged through him like a fault line breaking open. The disappearance of the judges echoed inside his mind like a scream cut short. Not dead. Not erased. Taken. Jinwoo moved before the rulers could stop him. Not across distance. Across causality. He followed the absence. The places where reality dipped unnaturally, like footprints left by something that refused to be acknowledged. A pattern emerged. Not random. A net. He arrived above a barren stretch of land, far from cities, far from witnesses. The air was wrong. Too quiet. No birds. No wind. No mana. Just emptiness. A monarch construct space, designed specifically to starve authority. "Come out," Jinwoo said. His voice did not echo. It registered. The space responded. Darkness folded inward, revealing towering silhouettes circling him. Not one. 5. Partial monarch manifestations, layered together, overlapping, shielding each other from denial. A formation. "You delegated," one voice laughed. "How noble." Another added. "And how predictable." Jinwoo's jaw tightened. "Release them." The laughter stopped. "You misunderstand," the eldest voice said calmly. "We didn't take them to bait you." Reality rippled. Images appeared. The judges suspended in void-like chambers, alive but immobilized. "We took them," the voice continued, "to study how your authority fractures." Jinwoo felt something inside him snap. He raised his hand. Authority surged. And failed. The space absorbed it. Not resisted. Redirected. Jinwoo staggered. The monarchs laughed again. "This domain recognizes no verdict but ours," one hissed. "You cannot judge where judgment has no meaning." Jinwoo breathed slowly. Anger was useless here. He forced himself to calm. To think. He looked not at the monarchs, but at the structure. The space wasn't immune to authority. It was pre-approved. A closed loop of mutually validating existences. They had learned. Built a reality where denial required unanimous contradiction. Clever. Cruel. "You're afraid," Jinwoo said quietly. The monarchs paused. "You wouldn't go through this trouble if you weren't." The eldest chuckled softly. "Fear implies vulnerability." Jinwoo met the unseen gaze. "Then why hide behind constructs?" Silence followed. Not rage. Recognition. Jinwoo changed approach. He did not deny. He redefined. "You're right," he said calmly. "This space accepts your authority." The monarchs waited. "So I won't judge you." A pause. "I'll judge the rule." The sigils on Jinwoo's arms shifted. Not brighter. Sharper. He spoke again. Not a command. A condition. If a domain exists solely to invalidate balance, then it violates balance. Authority did not surge outward. It collapsed inward. The domain trembled. Cracks spread, not in space. In logic. The monarchs roared. They attacked simultaneously. Jinwoo didn't block. He anchored. He fixed himself as a reference point. The attacks slammed into him like continents. His body shattered. Bones dissolved. Flesh tore. Pain erupted beyond comprehension. But authority held. The domain destabilized. The chambers holding the judges flickered. The rulers appeared at the edge of the collapsing construct. "This will kill you," one shouted. Jinwoo coughed blood. "Then remember," he gasped, "that I chose them." With a final exertion, Jinwoo enforced a single verdict. This domain cannot justify itself. The construct imploded. Not explosively. Invalidated. The monarch manifestations were ejected violently into the void between realms. The judges fell free. The sky reasserted itself. Reality healed. Jinwoo fell with it, unconscious, broken, alive. He woke days later. The rulers were silent, not disapproving, not relieved, shaken. "You forced authority through contradiction," one said quietly. "That should not be possible." Jinwoo's voice was hoarse. "They forced me." The judges recovered slowly, shaken, traumatized, alive. They knelt when they saw Jinwoo. He raised a trembling hand. "No," he said softly. "Stand." They did. Human again. But the cost had been severe. Jinwoo felt it immediately. His awareness was dimmer. His reach shorter. Something fundamental had been spent. Not power. Stability. Far away, monarchs regrouped in fury. He broke the domain. Yes. And survived. The eldest spoke coldly. Then we stopped trying to counter his authority. A pause. We attack what remains human. Jinwoo felt the shift. Not toward him. Toward his family. His friends. His memories. Everything that anchored him to earth. The rulers sensed it too. Their wings stirred uneasily. "They've changed targets," one said. Jinwoo sat up slowly. His eyes hardened. Then part 2 doesn't end with balance, he said. It ends with a line. The rulers did not ask what kind. They already knew. Jinwoo looked out at the horizon. For the first time, he did not feel like a judge. He felt like a man protecting the last pieces of himself. And that made him dangerous. The monarchs did not strike with fire. They struck with memory. Jinwoo felt it while standing in a quiet hospital corridor. Not pain, not pressure. A pull, a distortion in something fragile and irreplaceable. He turned instantly. Too late. His mother froze mid-step. Not physically, existentially. Her body stood still, eyes unfocused, breath shallow. Around her, reality blurred, as if someone had copied her outline and begun peeling it away. Doctors screamed. Nurses panicked. No mana spike. No gate. Just absence growing like a wound. Jinwoo's heart stopped. He reached for her. Authority surged. And failed. Not resisted. Redirected. A monarch's voice echoed softly, everywhere and nowhere. You taught us well. Jinwoo shook. Let her go. Why? The voice asked calmly. She is your anchor, is she not? Rage exploded through him. The sigils flared violently. The hospital walls cracked. Machines failed. Time slowed. Patients cried out in terror. The rulers appeared instantly. Stop. One commanded. You'll tear the city apart. Jinwoo's breathing was ragged. They crossed the line. Another monarch voice joined in. So did you. Images flooded his mind. His sister. His childhood home. Every moment he had ever clung to. The monarchs weren't attacking randomly. They were isolating. Systematically removing him. You want me? Jinwoo whispered. The presence answered. We want what makes you hesitate. The rulers tried to intervene. Their authority clashed violently against the monarch manipulation. Reality shook. But the monarchs had prepared. They weren't overpowering authority. They were circumventing it, using emotional vectors. Human weakness. Jinwoo screamed. Not in anger. In fear. He made a choice. Not as a ruler. As a son. He reached inward, not for authority, but for connection. Every memory of his mother. Her voice. Her warmth. Her sacrifices. He pulled. Hard. The monarch presence recoiled. Dangerous, one hissed. Jinwoo didn't care. The space around his mother collapsed inward. Not violently. Protectively. She fell into his arms as the distortion snapped shut. Alive. Unharmed. But something else broke. The backlash hit immediately. Jinwoo flew backward, slamming through multiple walls. Blood coated the floor. His vision blurred. The sigils burned erratically. Authority destabilized. The rulers rushed to him. You forced authority through emotional attachment, one said urgently. That fractures judgment. Jinwoo laughed weakly. Good. The monarchs retreated. Not defeated. Satisfied. We found it, one said. The crack. Another added. He will choose them over balance. The eldest voice concluded calmly. Then he will fall. The city stabilized slowly. Damage was severe. Casualties minimal. But the psychological impact was catastrophic. People had seen it. A god panic. A protector rage. A man bleed. News spread like wildfire. He lost control. He endangered civilians. He chose his family over strangers. Fear replaced reverence. Trust eroded. Jinwoo listened silently. He didn't argue. They weren't wrong. That night, Jinwoo stood alone in an empty field. The rulers gathered reluctantly. You crossed a line, one said. Jinwoo stared at the ground. I know. You cannot allow personal attachments to override balance. Jinwoo looked up slowly. Then remove them. Silence fell. The rulers stiffened. That would sever what remains of your humanity. Jinwoo's voice was steady. Exactly. The rulers did not respond immediately. Because for the first time, they didn't know if they should stop him. Far beyond Earth, monarchs gathered again. The human is unraveling. Yes. And still, he resists. The eldest leaned forward. Then the next move is simple. A pause. We make him choose again. But this time, there will be no outcome where everyone survives. Jinwoo felt it. The convergence tightening. Not toward a city. Not toward a gate. Toward simultaneous catastrophes engineered to exceed any moral calculus. He closed his eyes. I can't keep doing this, he whispered. The rulers watched silently. This was the moment they feared. Not because he might fail, but because he might succeed. By becoming something irreversible. Jinwoo opened his eyes. There was resolve there, but also grief. If I stay human, he said quietly, the monarchs will keep using it. He looked at the sky. If I stop being human. The sentence ended there, because the implication terrified even him. The wind died. The stars dimmed. The universe held its breath. And Sung Jinwoo stood at the edge of a decision that would define not just part 2, but everything that followed. The monarchs moved at dawn. Not with spectacle, with inevitability. Across the globe, carefully engineered crises unfolded at once. A reactor destabilizing near a capital. A gate rupturing beneath a refugee corridor. A tectonic fault screaming awake under a coastal megacity. A plague spore drifting over farmland that fed millions. None were absolute alone. Together, they were impossible. Jinwoo felt every thread pull tight. The calculus screamed. No sequence saved all. The rulers appeared around him, wings dimmed. This is the trap, one said softly. Jinwoo nodded. They want a proof, he replied. That I'll always choose someone. Silence. And if I refuse? He asked. Another ruler answered, voice careful. Then the world learns what happens without you. Jinwoo closed his eyes. He saw faces, names, lives he would never meet. He felt his mother's pulse. His sister's breath. He opened his eyes. I won't play their game. He stepped into the higher plane. Not to observe, but to rewrite how he intervened. The sigils along his arms flared, not brighter. Cleaner. He did not deny outcomes. He withdrew his preference. Across the world, the disasters progressed. But slower. Not halted. Decoupled from him. Humanity's systems engaged. Hunters responded. Engineers improvised. Doctors adapted. People acted. People chose. Loss still happened, but it was not assigned by him. The monarchs recoiled. He's refusing optimization. Yes. He's letting chaos act. The eldest's voice hardened. That makes him unpredictable. The rulers watched, stunned. You're letting it play out, one said. Jinwoo nodded. I'm removing myself as the fulcrum. That risks collapse. It risks growth. The words felt foreign and terrifying. A surge struck where the gate ruptured hardest. Jinwoo felt it and nearly intervened. His hands trembled. He stopped. He let the judges act. Limited authority. Local decisions. Human stakes. They held. Barely. But they held. Jinwoo exhaled. The monarchs shifted tactics. If he would not choose between cities, they would force a choice within him. The pull returned. Sharper. Closer. His sister. A memory spike ripped through his chest. Jinwoo staggered. Enough, he whispered. He raised his hand. Not in denial, but in renunciation. I relinquish priority, Jinwoo said clearly. The universe responded. Not with thunder. With silence. His authority thinned. Not gone. Recontextualized. No longer first responder. No longer arbiter of outcomes. He became a backstop. A last resort. The monarchs screamed in frustration. You're abandoning them. Jinwoo's voice shook, but held. No, I'm giving them back to themselves. The crises resolved unevenly. Some places suffered more than others. People mourned. People rebuilt. The world did not end. And for the first time in months, Jinwoo did not feel every heartbeat. He felt tired. Human tired. The rulers approached cautiously. You have changed the war, one said. Jinwoo looked at his hands. They changed me first. Another ruler spoke, voice low. You've narrowed your intervention window. Good. You may not be able to stop the next escalation. Jinwoo met their gaze. Then I'll stop what causes it. Far away, monarchs regrouped, angrier than before. He slipped the noose. Yes. And he's teaching them to survive without him. The eldest was silent for a long time. Finally. Then we removed the teacher. Night fell. Jinwoo stood on a quiet hill overlooking a city that hummed with ordinary life. No halos. No trembling skies. Just lights. He breathed in cool air. For the first time since awakening, he felt present. Not omnipresent. Present. His mother's voice echoed faintly from memory. Eat properly. Don't carry everything alone. He smiled sadly. I'm trying. The rulers lingered. There is a cost, one said. Jinwoo nodded. I know. You will not be able to protect everyone you love. He looked toward the city. I never could. A pause. You will be hunted. Already am. Another pause. And if the monarchs force a final confrontation? Jinwoo's eyes hardened. Then I won't fight as law. He turned. I'll fight as consequence. The stars brightened. Somewhere beyond them, the monarchs prepared their next move. And Sung Jinwoo, no longer the center of the world, no longer its judge, walked back into it, human enough to choose, strong enough to endure, and dangerous enough to change the war. Jinwoo made a choice no god ever should. He stepped back, and let humanity stand on its own. But the monarchs won't allow that. In Part 3, the final war begins. Not for Earth, but for Jinwoo himself. Like, subscribe, and stay with the story. The finale is next.